Just as many other teenagers and kids during the COVID-19 pandemics, both of us can for sure say we fell under the destructive, never-ending cycle of doom scrolling on social media. Comparing ourselves to these seemingly perfect people, living these seemingly perfect lifestyles, and experiencing the common pressure to look, live, and act a certain way.
Taglines all over platforms such as how to lose weight in 10 days, how to get abs in 14, how to become unrecognizable in a month, which might seem like completely harmless topics left permanent consequences on us to this day. Similarly, videos such as laying in bed for 10 days, here's why you're depressed, seemingly offers easy solutions for far more complex problems. And while finding solutions and reasons might seem comfortable and reassuring at first, these quick self-diagnoses can be far more harmful than helpful, often leading into trends of self-fulfillment and misinformation.
This ties closely to the phenomenon of popular psychology, which I'm not certain about the number of people in this audience who are familiar with this term, so let us explain it quickly. I'm Neja Strazar.
And I'm Leslie Ndikumana.
And we are both second-year students here at United World College Red Cross Nordic, and we will be taking you through this TEDx talk. Popular psychology, or shorter, pop psychology, includes a range of psychological concepts and practices that have been recognized by wider society through various media, such as books, TV shows, or online content from social media.
While it can, in some cases, be highly beneficial, as it helps reduce the stigma around mental health and raises awareness about it, pop psychology, if misused or misinterpreted, can also be extremely harmful. That's because when individuals self-diagnose based on oversimplified online content, they might be influenced to adopt improper coping mechanisms and solutions, developing distorted self-perception, even causing them to act unwell in the end.
For example, in smaller communities, much like those in boarding schools, misinformation and self-diagnosis trends between individuals tend to spread quicker, leading to potential damage and overlooking of those who are actually struggling. Places filled with people from all over the world, with people with all kinds of backgrounds and all kinds of experiences, are also places where struggling with mental health becomes quote-unquote normalized.
In order to fit in with these societal norms and expectations of the small community with a constant echo chamber surrounding individuals, it's easy to forget one's own identity and values. From birth, you're explicitly taught that validation comes from the outside. You do your homework correctly, you earn praise. Because of this, most people depend on others to improve their own self-esteem, especially when there's a lack of any previous reinforcement system that they had in the past, such as parents or other caretakers. So seeking approval has to come from elsewhere.
Often in boarding schools, people succumb to expectations placed on them in order to fit in and feel like they belong. And while these diverse environments and these diverse backgrounds foster different viewpoints shared by shared interests and preferences, they can also cause conflict. When someone goes against the primary interest or primary opinion of the group, they might face repercussions. There is an unspoken rule to always have to conform and be with the line with others. Those who don't agree or conform, in this case, may be treated negatively, not always directly through words, but indirectly through behavior or even social exclusion from the group. So, in the process of seeking identification or belonging to the group, one can often overlook their own wants, needs, and true interests to fit in with the majority. On top of this, social media algorithms are usually the same in places like this. Certain common trends on social media that everyone is aware of only circulate and amplify the ongoing bad habits, like videos highlighting how to study better or how to pull a proper all-nighter. This reflects the idea of social identification, where individuals adopt behavior that aligns with the majority to strengthen their sense of belonging, nevertheless if those behaviors are actually harmful or even self-destructive.
In summary, the whole idea of earning validation and recognition becomes more rewarding than caring for one's own well-being, and eventually becomes worth the sacrifice. If this is still confusing, let's give you an example. Help me out, Neha?
Of course.
Leslie goes to an international boarding school. Leslie has never done any international school system before or even had education in English. Leslie has also never lived outside of their home country or without their parents before. Here's a casual conversation in the beginning of Leslie's year.
Hey Leslie, how was your day today?
Hey Neja, it was really nice. You know, I had my first math class and I got a full campus tour. I really feel like I did a lot.
Yeah, it does sound like you got a lot done.
Yeah, I'm so tired. I feel ready to just relax and, maybe go back and read a book or something.
Sounds like a good idea. And here is a casual conversation at the dinner table in the later parts of Leslie's year. Hey Leslie, what did you do today?
Oh my God, like literally nothing. I got like 4 hours of sleep and I have 2 assignments to finish today and another 2 essays to write by the end of this week.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I'm so swamped right now as well. I woke up super early so I could finish that science paper, and I still have so much research to do. I don't think I'm getting any rest or sleep this weekend.
No, me either, but at least we're in this together.
Demonstrated in this scene is how someone can pick up on subtle, non-explicit cues and buy into emotions of others without even realizing. So, for example, if I had instead proceeded to brag about just how amazing my day was, just after Leslie has complained about hers, it would be taken offensive. As you can see in this scenario, just by identifying with others and receiving their validation, even for harmful habits, makes neglecting yourself quickly become repetitive or even somehow rewardful.
The identification with others can also lead to even further self-diagnosis, in the sense that if you've been having a bad period of time and you have a friend with depression, you can suddenly recognize yourself in those symptoms, and only continue these harmful trends to fit the diagnosis you've given yourself.
Another seemingly huge thing in international boarding schools is the lack of sleep. I'll give you a little scenario again. You have not eaten for 5 days straight because you have been so overwhelmed with schoolwork or work in general, and now it's the weekend, so you finally have time to do that. You eat 3 meals each day and proceed to not eating again. Does this work? No. Eating is fundamental and provides your body with energy and nutrients that let your body grow. So why is that there seems to be an ongoing misconception of doing the exact same thing with missing sleep and then catching up on it later? When I'm saying this, I'm sure you're all nodding along and all shaking your heads in agreements. You have heard it 1,000 times before. This isn't any news to you. Your teachers, your peers, your parents tell you to get enough hours of sleep.
But also get your grades right.
But also to exercise.
Remember to apply to uni.
Get a summer job.
But also remember to relax, guys. So what I'm about to say next probably won't be new either, but at least it'll be backed by evidence, so maybe you'll listen this time. Psychologists Cohen and Minkel conducted studies which show that people who lack sleep over a longer period of time are 2 times more likely to catch something as little as a common cold or a stomach bug. Your immune system during this time is lowered and also more vulnerable, and so it'll only continue to build up. You're constantly tired, you're constantly stressed, and on top of it all, you're constantly sick. Long-term repercussions of lack of sleep have also been shown to lead to even worse things: obesity, heart attacks, heightened blood pressure, and even connections to early death. So why is it that people are willing to sacrifice so much of themselves, like sleep, which has so many long-term repercussions, for such temporary rewards? Is it because we're young and it doesn't matter? Because the consequences just won't catch up with us yet? Or is it all for this small feeling of satisfaction in a small moment?
So, what should you do? Next time you are encountered with a similar situation, try to identify the negative aspects of an everyday conversation or habits. Acknowledging negative elements such as seeking validation for wrong reasons and striving to change them is the key to improvement. Negative affirmations should become positive ones. In the same way you tell yourself you are not good enough for something or you can do something, try to change that perspective for something else. Self-diagnosis and self-fulfilling symptoms should shift to seeking help and shift to trying to identify on symptoms that concern you. And most importantly, the trend of neglecting yourself for validation of some sort of belonging should be something to avoid rather than to admire. Don't fall into bad habits just because everybody else around you does so.
It's also important to take into consideration the right spaces for such discussions. Maybe some are different than dinner tables or bedrooms, as those only increase the constant peer pressure, adding them to spaces that are supposed to be a safe haven or a refuge. If you still struggle with doing so for yourself, then at least do it for others. If you continue to think and speak negatively, others around you may pick up on it too and adopt it. As a matter of fact, a study by University of California and Harvard found that just changing the way one thinks of stress can lead to improved psychological and cognitive reactions. So changing the way we approach our problems can already lead to significant benefits.
Overall, the butterfly effect teaches us how even the smallest changes, smallest actions can lead to extremely significant consequences. In connection to pop psychology, this reflects upon how our thoughts, choices, and shared words not only impact our own mental well-being, but the well-being of those around us as well.
So we ask you that once this talk is over and you leave this room today, you try to reflect on what you've seen and said and how your actions and words might impact those around you. Remember that only because there's a common belief around something that it doesn't make it right.
We used to burn women for being witches, right? Is that still correct?
Next time, before just blindly believing what you see and hear online, take a moment to incorporate critical skills you've encountered in your life and apply them to your own self-care.
When faced with negativity and challenges, rather than focusing on all that's wrong in situations, for example, dealing with bad grades from an exam or losing a job you really wanted, think about what can be improved, what can you take from it, how you can grow from it, and how you can become a better person yourself.
I'm Leslie.
And I'm Neja.
And thank you for listening to our TED Talk about popular psychology and the effects of butterfly effect.
Have a good day.